everybody. I'm Marina Franklin, and this is
Evelyn Frick.
I forgot. I must have changed the mirror.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
This is Evelyn Frick.
Hello.
By the way, my niece did that when I saw her recently
Really?
after not seeing her for a while. She goes, T, 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 T.
Aw,
I was like,
really sweet.
she's so cute. It's been her birthday for like months since October. She just celebrates it every day. She wears a crown. She
That's
doesn't
the way to
care.
do it. Yeah. That's really sweet.
Isn't it? It's funny. And she's got the teachers now. They're in on it too.
She's industrious.
She's got people singing happy birthday to her. I'm like, her father once told her that her birthday is not her birthday, and she started crying. I was like, every day is your birthday. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since we've been here.
Yeah.
Evelyn, we've been like away for a while, which, it was the first time I always shift my desk around for this. So I was like, I didn't know how to shift it. I was like, oh my God, we're getting farther and farther away from being like, Zoom people and
I know.
online streaming people.
Yeah, it's for sure. Like I was on like vacation last week, and have been back in New York, and now that like the numbers of COVID are going down, I've been like out and about a little bit more, seeing friends and stuff. So yeah, no, I haven't been streaming as much, which it feels a little weird to kind of like settle back into it, but it's good. I'm happy to be back.
Now, where did you go recently, which I love?
So I went to Vermont, Marina's favorite place in the world. Or one of her favorite places. My family owns a timeshare up there in Stowe, Vermont, which is pretty far up north.
Yes, I've looked at Stowe, Vermont for homes.
It's so gorgeous. It's really beautiful. And also in Stowe, there is a resort that is owned by the Von Trapp family from The Sound of Music, which is where my family just ended up having getting a timeshare there. So it's all very like Austrian themed. And like they have like a beer hall at the resort. And yeah, it's just really, really gorgeous. It's up on a mountain. So lots of great hiking, and like wildlife, and it's also like in the winter really good for skiing. So I was just up there reading and swimming, and just like spending time with family, and it was really, really great.
What did you read?
So I read this book that it was actually for work, but I enjoyed it. It's this book called Schmutz, which is coming out in July. And it is about a young woman from the like Hasidic ultra Orthodox Jewish community who discovers like pornography, and gets like addicted to porn, and her kind of like deciding whether or not she like wants to like stay in the community or like leave and become more secular. So it was really interesting. It was a really good read. I recommend it. It comes out July 19th.
What does schmutz mean?
In Yiddish, schmutz can mean like, so it has two meanings. It can mean like dirt. So like that's typically more when it's used when like, like your like Jewish mom is like, oh, like you have some schmutz on your face and like wipes it off. Or it can mean like it's something that's like unclean or like not pure. So in terms of like pornography, that's like Hasidic Jews would consider that to be schmutz.
Got it. And it's funny because I always try to say Yiddish words, but I never say it right. I probably would. What was it? Someone was talking about stupping.
Stupping.
Stupping. I have a hard time saying stupping.
Yeah, it's like interesting because like Yiddish, I don't know, like it technically like it is spelled with the like Hebrew letters. So like when you like comes into English, I think you can kind of just like say it however you want, and for the most part people will get it.
Oh. Did you get any stooping in on your vacation?
My girlfriend was with me, but no.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really great. It's, the first kind of, like, time where she spent, like, a lot of time with, like, my parents and my sister, so it was really, really great that she was able to come along and spend time with
That's amazing.
my family. Yeah, it was
That's a
great.
wonderful trip. I'm so jealous. I'm always thinking about timeshares. I don't really understand how that works. It's like you share it with other people, right?
Yeah, basically. So it's like my family, owns, like a week out of the year, at this kind of like guest house at the lodge. So our week is like June 11th, I think, or whatever, like the like second week of June is.
Mm.
And yeah, we just like have the week, in Vermont there, and then other families or other people own like the guest house for like their week
I
of the
gotcha.
year. But yeah, it's really nice because like the resort that we stay at has, they're really, it's run really well. So like before we come, they like clean it out, and it's like all, nice and like fresh when we arrive for our week, and the same for like the people after us who stay there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They have this new app about swimming pools. Have you seen this?
Oh.
Where you can
Oh,
like
yeah, you can, like, find what
find a
those are.
swimming pool and just go. But I don't know if it's just the swimming pool, if like you're not allowed in the house. I don't know exactly how that works. But
Yeah.
Christina Greer, her sister posted. We've had her on Florencia.
Oh, yeah.
She's a doctor, and she went to on a vacation, and she has this app. I forget. I don't have my phone, but I forget the app. I'll find it in a second. When Juskow is on and he'll be
Yeah.
talking, I'll have time to find
Sometimes,
the
yeah.
app. But yeah, you just go and it's like Airbnb for swimming pools.
That's so nice. I love, like, swimming in the summer. It's so relaxing and nice, but, like, I mean, there are public pools in New York
Yeah.
City, but I just haven't figured out where ones are
I
near
will
me.
never go to a public. I can't do it.
And well,
I'm
now they're like lifeguard. There's like a lifeguard shortage in New York, so I don't
oh,
know how that will affect like hours at public pools.
you
But
said a
it's
mouthful there.
yeah,
Lifeguards, yeah. In general, like in life, there's no guards.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but also it's
Swimply. It's
nice.
called Swimply.
That's really cute.
I'll type it in
Sweet.
the chat so you guys get it. It's called Swimply. Now, here's an interesting fact.
Hmm.
Did you know that Airbnb is being like, so it's ruined the housing market in a sense. So they're
Mhm.
curtailing where, like in Atlanta, I think they're like, it's like you cannot do Airbnb. So people are losing that
Interesting.
income on property that they want to like rent out or Airbnb it,
Mm.
and their
That
stock has
makes
plummeted.
sense. And I mean, that makes sense because I know there's also like the housing market and the rental market is really, really crazy right now. Everything is really expensive. So I guess that makes sense to me that like people who like own Airbnbs are like people can't live there. They're just owning it as like a property, like an apartment building, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's like I've been thinking about doing that with a second, property. Now,
Yeah, that makes
how's
sense.
your rent going? Are you okay? Are you locked in for 2 years or 1 year?
We're locked in for a year,
Ooh.
which I know. We're but like our rent for this place is really nice. We're like in a rent stabilized apartment.
Mhm.
And they give us also like a preferential credit. So like the market value of our apartment is actually higher than we're like paying for it each month, which is nice. But then the city council just passed that increase in
I know.
rents. So yeah, I mean, I think
By
it'll
6%?
it's like around 6% if you sign a 2-year lease and around 3.25% if you sign a 1-year lease. But like it'll go into effect for like people who are signing like their next leases. So for right now, like my girlfriend and I are good, but like when we go to sign, like we want to stay at this place for a while. So when we sign our next lease, we'll have to decide whether or not like we want to lock it in for 2 years and pay like the higher like increase in rent, or just like 1 year and pay the lower. I don't know. I was
Yeah, I
talking with a
usually
friend
lock
about
in
it.
for 2 years. I think I forget why I used to do that. Why I lock in my rent for 2 years, but I forget why. But I think it's higher
It
for
makes more
1 year.
sense. Yeah, I was, like, talking with a friend of mine about this actually, and her like, I didn't fully understand it, but, like, she was, explained to me that, like, actually signing for 2 years is probably, like, a better option, because like, the percentage that you're paying, like, it'll stay the same over the course of the 2 years, whereas if you, sign a lease for 1 year, you'll be paying that percentage, but then if you sign again for another year, it ends up being higher than what the 2-year percentage is. So
It's
yeah.
all very difficult and complicated. I just got off of and I just want to say hello to everybody who's just joining us now. We always sign on early just to make sure we grab the Facebook. Hello, Stace. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Catalina.
Mhm.
Hello, everybody who is here. Hello, Mike Dickatu, Mr. Noise. Mr. Noise.
Oh, I think he's new.
I think that he's going under a different name there too.
Oh, sure,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and Marcy, did I say hi, Marcy? And yeah, so I just if you guys are listening to Friends Like Us, which is why I do this live stream, is to promote the podcast. The podcast has been doing exceptionally well. We're over like at least 15,000 more listeners. And
Oh my god.
yeah, yeah, it's really good. And we had Bevy Smith on, in this interim
Oh,
where you guys haven't seen us. Bevy Smith talks about getting greater later. We had Godfrey on. He's on this week.
yeah.
Godfrey, incredible guest. Funny, hilarious. We also had Kristen from Harlem. She's a
Mhm.
councilwoman,
Oh, wow.
so we talked with her about gentrification in Harlem and what it really is. And how a lot of people don't realize gentrification is really about displacement of people, and not just people moving in, but getting rid of people who lived there their whole lives, which is a better definition.
Yeah.
But we also talk every now and then. I go on there and I talk about stocks and how
Mm,
my uncle is showing me how to invest in stocks. And
that's important.
yeah, and so I just did a course online just now before I logged on.
Oh, wow.
And Noye, who you guys know, she's a regular a guest on the show. Noye goes to the class with my uncle every Sunday. We talk with him, and my uncle just gets a kick out of it. And Noye's been very diligent. She's really good on the stock market. And here's something that they did say: it's very volatile right now for those who are long-term investors who are older.
Hmm.
For
Okay.
younger people, though, which I didn't really ask, which I ascertained from all of that. By the way, every time he said assets, I couldn't stop laughing. Um, assets. I kept giggling. Um, but these were like really rich people who like have their money invested, and he was really smart in saying that there's nowhere to hide in the stock
Mm,
market right now. You like usually people move around to treasury bonds, and
mm.
they move over to bonds if they can't do stocks. There's nowhere because of the interest rates being so high. Now, all this
Oh.
stuff that I'm saying, I kind of understand. I know I'm just using words right now and I'm grasping it, but I think that makes sense. And then, but if you're new and young, right
Mm.
now is the time to buy a stock very cheap.
Oh,
But
okay.
a smart stock, not like
Mm,
something that's risky, something
mm.
like Apple,
Yeah,
that's when it's dropping really low, you can buy it cheap. And what are you go,
yeah.
the last week it bottomed. Well, last week was actually better at the tail end. The week
Mm.
before was horrible. It was like,
Oh, no.
ooh, I mean, it was like the worst week ever.
Mm.
It's a bear market.
Yeah.
I love using all these terms. I feel special.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about. I wanna take this class with your uncle.
It was so good because I was like, oh my God, at some point, over time, I have to sell one of these just to make some money and then buy it back again, which I didn't
Mm.
realize. And that's what he showed me today.
Wow, that's so
Because I was
cool.
just going to keep it over time. And I still got to ask my uncle what that means, but keep it over a long period of time and then buying more shares,
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah, there's nowhere to hide in the stock market right now. But if you're young, buy cheap, keep for long term, and sell at some point when it goes back up.
Yeah.
All
Ooh,
right,
okay,
let's
that's
bring
good to
on the
know.
man of the hour. He went with me on a gig recently. I'm sure he's got lots of information on that he cannot stop talking about. Here we go. Are you guys ready for Juskow?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, wow.
I'm hungover.
What?
Can you
Out
hear me?
partying last night?
Yes, we hear you. We just
Yes.
we're
Yes,
trying
I
to get
did.
some.
And I feel that I caused the Roe versus Wade overturning.
It was you.
Oh, look at you starting right off the bat
Well,
with that.
what happened is I have
I don't like these settings.
my father's relatives, his mother's family name or whatever is named Eisenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother's other cousins' names are named Eisenberger
Okay.
because we're very Jewish. And I introduced them last night at this party for the first time, and we have photographic evidence, and I think it caused the universe to explode, and that's why this was overturned.
Interesting theory.
Well, welcome to the show.
I blame myself.
We didn't get your applause in. We're trying to before we get to all the sad news.
Yeah.
Want to look? You could tell he's hungover. Look at him.
I'm having a rough day. Well, I'm very uptight. It's like I got a new job. I wake up at 6:00 every morning. I'm not used to it.
You
What's
woke
your
up this morning.
job?
You're at home. You got to wake up at 6.
From now on Saturdays I have to start work early.
I mean, do they know? Are they got video on you?
Well, it'll be funny when they know. I mean, I not next week's my first week doing Saturdays, and it'll be funny if I'm like, no, I'm working, but then they see this show, and they're like, wait, what? I mean, hopefully it'll be cool. I mean, I still have another hour. If I was to when I work on Saturdays, I work until 4, but I get the feeling it'll be light, so it shouldn't
Yeah.
interfere, but who knows?
Do they send you something?
Yeah, they send me stuff. I work from home twice a week.
Well, that'll be our break from you talking when they send you something.
Exactly. That's what I figured. I'm like, they'll be fine with that, right?
That could work out for us.
Yeah.
Well, tell everyone about. I mean, before we get into the unfortunate, reversal of Roe versus Wade, tell us about last week's gig on Friday. I took Juskow and
Lois. I talked all about it on my podcast. Marcy, hello, Marcy, hello, Jenny, hello, Catalina. They all know. Oh my God, Marcy went insane. Marina did nothing to help.
I did.
You did nothing.
I was scared.
I mean, I have been over this in my head 100 times how it could possibly be my fault.
Wait, let me set it up. Let me set it up.
Ahead.
So, Evelyn, we went on that gig, because you arranged it and you talked to the guy. And so when we got there.
Oh, so it's Evelyn's fault.
No, it's not Evelyn's fault. When we got there, the guy said the parking was right in front. He kept the parking space for us, and he put a cone there.
But remember also, before you set it up, that I told because I know Asbury Park really well, New Jersey, and it's the worst place to park in the history of parking. So they have their own parking app. That's how bad it is. You have to download the Asbury Park parking app. So I told Lois in advance, because I didn't think I was traveling with them, make sure you download that app.
Oh. So what happened was when we got there, this is a gig in Asbury at the Asbury Fest Hall Beer Garden. And it was an outdoor rooftop gig where I'm headlining.
The most perfect evening of all time weather-wise. Wow.
Beautiful. And Juskow was opening for me for a little couple of minutes. It's it's nice to have Juskow there I enjoy watching Juskow work. And
I made the security guard laugh, and I figure that's good enough. That's when you really, because he was guarding the stage. I think that's new. They had a security guard standing right there looking at the audience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I made him laugh. I remember I was like, well, this is exciting, because he was like a Buckingham Palace guard. He can't really be part of the show.
So basically, we did the gig, but when we got there, like I said, the guy said, parking's out front. In the text, it looks like they reserved a space. He
Mhm.
said, they put a cone there. And then we did the show. And then afterwards, there was a ticket on Lois's car.
Oh my
And
god.
now, on top of all of that, let me just say this. On the way there was so many things that happened. Like the New Jersey Transit, right, shut down.
Yeah, they went on
Right.
strike.
They went on strike,
no.
and we had to pick Juskow up instead of him taking the train because he was on his job. So
Right.
we had to like maneuver and text and catch him while we were
It felt horrible.
driving in New Jersey. And Lois is one of those people who, when she's driving, she'll start having a conversation, but she gets lost. Now,
Oh,
I
no.
often say to her, focus on your driving, and so that we don't get lost. Let's figure out where he is. And so I have to also put on my GPS because she'll do
Mm.
hers, but she'll still go in the.
Yeah.
And she said this. She said, no matter what, let's make sure that when Juskow gets in the car, that it's a good time for him because we know how he gets.
Well, I felt bad.
We
I
want
felt
to hold
horrible
on.
'cause-
Let me finish
Yeah.
this word. We want to make sure he has an amazing night.
That's of course insane because I'm the opener and it shouldn't be going to trouble to pick up the opener. I feel like Marina on those days. I mean, yes, of course she's my friend, but whoever I open for is my boss on that day.
No,
And
we all know you. You're good. You're good, Juskow.
right,
We
I know
know.
what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. I feel bad being, that I know how it works, and it's just like I don't want to be the trouble. You shouldn't have to go to trouble to pick up the opener. You shouldn't go out of your way. It should be the
But
opposite
Lois,
way
the
around.
whole way goes, it's no trouble at all.
She
We're
was very nice
going
about
to
it.
pick him up. Tell him it's no trouble. Tell Juskow not to worry. It's no problem at all. We'll pick him up. It'll be nothing. And then we got a little lost. And she's like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then and then she went through the garage instead of on the other side. She's like, oh, now I gotta pay $5. But we won't say anything at all because I know how Juskow is, and we don't want to make him feel bad about anything, and we're gonna make sure that Juskow has a wonderful night. Now, my sister's in the car, and she hears all of this, so she's tracking the story as well. She's
Mhm.
tracking Lois. We get to the gig, like I said, she gets that ticket. She brought scones, and I guess she said, have your fucking scone,
Yeah, she
Juskow.
threw him at me.
She was so mad about the ticket. She goes, for fuck, I told you. I don't know what was going on, but now I know that you told her about the app, but I still didn't understand why
Well,
she
first
was
of all, I told her to download the app in advance. No big deal. Since I was in the car, I have the app. So I said, let me get the app ready. I'll get us a space. But then Marina said, the guy just texted me and they have a parking space for us. Now, why anyone watching this podcast all over the world would think for a moment that the headliner had to pay for parking, even for one moment, why anybody would think that is insane.
right.
So we just left that car, not for 1 second thinking. And believe me, it would have been my pleasure to pay $2 for parking or whatever it was with the app, very simply. But the guy never said anything. He never came in and said, oh, by the way, did you pay for parking? Which, of course, also would have been ridiculous, right?
Now, hold on for a second, because a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? You're just
Sorry.
now joining us. I want to update you on what we're talking about. This is YouTube Live. I do this to promote my podcast, Friends Like Us. And these are my friends. This is my assistant, Evelyn Frick. And underneath here is Dave Juskow.
The Brady Bunch.
And he's a good friend who opened for me last week at a show in New Jersey. What's it called again?
Asbury Park.
And so we're talking about how the fight happened. Go ahead.
No, so for some reason I never even, you, me, and Lois never even gave it a second thought that we had to do anything because the guy was pull right here. Now that guy that was doing it, why wouldn't he say, by the way, they're really strict about parking here, so make sure that you get a ticket, get the pay for the meter. Like, why wouldn't he tell us that? So I didn't even give it a second thought. And this is the kind of thing that Lois and I both usually would think about because we're obsessed with parking and cars, and right? I mean, this is the thing. But there would be no reason to believe if Marina says the guy who puts the gig together says we have a spot, that we would have to pay for the parking. So then when that ticket came, she just flipped a switch and somehow got mad at me, threw the scones at me. Like I told on my podcast, the only thing that would have been better is if she
Now,
took
when
out
did she throw the
and
scones and
threw them
throw them?
individually at me, but she threw the whole paper bag at me. Here's your fucking scones, you limey bastard. You had the parking up. You could have done it. I'm like, I mean, first of all, we also knew this was going to be taken care of. It wasn't even an option. We knew we were going to throw it in the owner's face and be like, you can take care of this. It's like $20.
And it was a mistake. I got a text from them right afterwards that said,
they took care of it instantaneously.
The security guards, basically, he said they forget sometimes. It's not a problem. Don't worry about that.
Well, that security guard sitting out there was kind of a dick about it. I mean, he was a nice guy.
I don't want to trash. This is a gig that I work.
But it's like, it's weird that he was like, oh, we'll take care of it. You know, it could have just been
I don't want to call anyone a dick on this. This was a gig that I worked.
I like him. I was also attracted to him, but that's not the point.
Dick.
Thing is that
like his dick.
And Lois just
By the way, my sister afterwards, she goes, I don't know if you know this, but Juskow is definitely gay. Because while Lois is still yelling at Juskow, and she's like, oh, you have your fucking scones. I told you. I asked you. I told you this would happen. And now we got a fucking ticket. Juskow. And she's yelling and she's looking in the rearview mirror like she wants to like beat his ass. Now, Juskow the whole time is talking about the movie
Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada. While she's going off, Juskow is talking about Devil Wears Prada with my sister, and he's quoting like nonstop. And they're giggling. I knew
it would annoy Lois too.
And they're giggling, and she's looking in the rearview mirror like this.
Yeah, why is he having a good time in the back?
Because so now you're not going to talk to me.
No, but wait, well, hold on a second. She was yelling at me and I was like yelling back, and I'm not yelling, but I was like, why is this my fault? And then Marina's like, I don't want any of this. I want you to both stop. I don't want to hear about it.
As the headliner,
after she said that, I did shut up, if you can imagine. And then she kept going. She goes, no, Marina, I still have to say one last thing. And she just kept saying that one last thing. So I just wasn't answering her question.
Can I just say one?
Yeah, and I said to Marina, I said, Marina's told me not to talk about it. And that just made her even more mad because, when you say it in that condescending tone, I'm sorry, Lois, but I'm not allowed to speak of it anymore. It just made it worse and worse.
Juskow, just because someone said something to you in a certain way doesn't mean you have to take it that way. It's part of the Irish culture. Say, here's your fucking scone. You're going to be emotional about fucking scones. Then I don't know. I could drop you off at the next rest stop.
I said, please do. I said, please do. I guarantee I can find my way home. And your sister and I were just laughing at her because, I mean, in this, you guys know me. This was the one time it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong.
However, Juskow, Evelyn, he does have the ability to, even in these moments when he's not wrong, to still turn the, twist it a little bit. That's why he was talking about Devil Wears Prada. And that was, and they were laughing in the back. It was really, and then, of course, we stopped off at the rest stop, the John Bon Jovi rest stop. And Juskow and I were having the best time of our life. We got out of the car. We clicked our heels.
No, remember we held hands and skipped to the place because we're like, wouldn't it be funny if we're just so happy? And Lois is so angry. And that's, of course, after she tried to blow us all up by hitting one of the gas pumps with her car.
Oh, my God.
She backed it too. And I gave her money for gas because I know gas is really crazy, right? Which I intended on doing, But I also gave her money for the ticket because I was like, you don't have to worry about this. I got you. It's not a problem. It really isn't. But then again, Juskow was back there giving those quotes from Devil Wears Prada. and it was that was also pissing Lois off. That he watched that movie and he loves that movie so much. And she
pisses everyone off.
But my sister at the end of it, she goes, we're back home. Juskow, she drops not off at the Lincoln Tunnel. She passed it.
She goes, where do you want me to drop you off? I'm like, right out of the tunnel's fine. You don't have to take me home. And then, of course, she passed it and dropped me off in Harlem.
She offers a lot, but then she's like, so she goes, no, it's no problem. Juskow will take you home.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the car with her alone.
And we go, no. I go, no. We're going to go to my house, or you get through the Lincoln Tunnel. He'll get out, which is how Juskow can get home.
Right.
She passes Lincoln Tunnel because she wasn't paying attention, or we don't know.
She doesn't know how to drive.
So she passes the Lincoln Tunnel, so he can't like it's not easy
Yeah.
way for him to get home. And she tells Juskow, who's afraid of Harlem, which is very offensive, but that's a whole other
I
story.
don't care.
And
It's
she
true.
goes, "I'm gonna drop you off. I missed the Lincoln Tunnel." And Juskow very calmly goes, "I know." Well, why didn't you tell me something? Why didn't you say? He goes, "It's fine. Just drop me," very calmly, which is even pissing her off even more. He goes, "It's fine. Just drop me off at Marina's. It'll be fine." And now Lois is just looking in the rearview mirror. I'm like, now Juskow gets dropped off in Harlem. I mean, it is a festival of Black people.
And
he
I don't know
so
whether
terrified. Which
because I was
brought
trying
me
to get a
joy.
city bike, and Marina was very kind. She's like, "Let me just get you an Uber or Lyft," and it wasn't a money object. I was just like, I don't know. I just wanted to take city bike. It was nice, and I hate taking cabs, and it was such a beautiful night. But I really wanted to get out as soon as possible, so I was looking for an electric bike because I want to go as fast as possible out. And all the electric bikes, Marina, in Harlem, all the batteries have been ripped out.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, not all of them. I
Yeah,
drive
all
them
of
all
them.
the time.
When they say
No,
there's
that's
an
not
electric bike,
true.
well, I had to go down to like 109th Street until I got one. And then the city bike guy was there, and I'm like, "Hey, all the batteries are ripped out. Do you know where I can get?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know." He was like
Yeah, I
angry
didn't
at
know
me
what you were talking
too.
about either because I just get on. I don't even look at the app to see what's there. I just figure
Well,
it
you have
out.
to look at I was looking for an electric bike, and those are
Yeah,
rare.
I
They're
know.
hard to
I don't go
find.
by that.
Well, why would you? You want to get exercise. I
Well,
just wanted to get home.
you're right. You're
And by the
right.
way, Marina, you said you go through the park sometimes. This was after midnight. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that." So I was riding on Central Park West, and there's no bike lane going down. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance because Marina does it. And I went into the park and went that way. And it was
Hilly.
great. I mean, but again, being on the electric bike is key. But there were so many people walking around the park and people sitting on benches. And like these people are just asking for trouble. It's like 1 a.m. and these people are just hanging around the complete pitch black Central Park. It's crazy, but there were lots of people.
To sum it up, though, my sister, as I'm at home,
Right.
she looks at me and she goes, "The thing is, she said she wanted Juskow to have a good night." She goes, "That's what I'm confused by. I
Well,
don't understand."
your sister was fantastic, and we had a
That's so
really
funny.
good time in the back seat, and it was however that sounds, but we had a really good time. She's so cool and fun, and of course she thinks I'm gay. I know the Devil Wears Prada. I'm teaching a class on Clueless. Who wouldn't think
But it
that
was
when
the
they
way
first
she
meet you?
asked me, Evelyn. She goes, "I don't know if you know this." I go, "No, we all, all
Yeah.
just know whatever.
No.
Hey,
We
what can I
don't, we
do?
don't, we don't
Well, I
care."
knew the entire scene. I was doing the entire scene for him, like, and that lumpy blue sweater you got from some, I don't know, casual corner, from a pile of stuff. Like I'm doing the entire monologue. She's like,
He
"Oh,
did the
he's totally gay."
carb one.
Oh,
I
of
thought that would be
course.
best for her, so there would be no creepiness. Like, "Oh, he's gay. Okay, cool."
Yes, you're right, Catalina.
Those are
Dave
my.
Juskow's Clueless, Notting Hill, The Devil Wears
Listen, I
Prada.
like The
You got it.
Godfather and Goodfellas too. I'm a well-rounded homosexual. I don't
Now,
know.
Evelyn, what do you think? And when you listen to the story, who do you think is at fault?
I am
The fact that she has
loath
to think
to
about it is not
agree
good for me.
with no, I mean, I
Oh,
think I do think well, I think ultimately they should have made sure that the
of
space was
course.
venue should have, double checked that the space was paid for. I will say it just seems like a misunderstanding, and I don't think Juskow is really at fault,
Thank you.
which it takes a lot for me to say.
Yeah, I know it does. I know it does. That's what I'm saying. Usually it is my fault. This time it was not, and she handled it
It
really.
was so fun to watch, though, Evelyn.
And
Because
remember,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
my
like,
friend was
sure.
there. My friend was there, and she did it in front of. He
oh,
ran
everyone
away.
saw it. Everyone saw it.
It's actually so funny because at the time, like when you were at this this show, I was up in Vermont like on vacation. But whenever you're like doing a gig, I always have like my phone on and with me because like in case like like you call me or like something's going wrong. But like you didn't like text me at all. So in my head, I was like, oh, everything must be going well.
Well,
Well, it
technically
was
went
nothing
well.
you could do at that point, and it wasn't
Yeah.
anyone's necessarily fault except for maybe the security guards who didn't,
Yeah.
but like It
But
was
again, that's
fun
not
to
even their
see.
fault. The guy who put the gig, the manager should have. If they,
It was fun to see Juskow get it. I'm
Oh, I'm
telling you,
sure. I'm sure
that
it
was worth
was.
every. I
well,
called
again,
Rachel. I said, Rachel. She goes, "What did he do?"
but you guys don't even know that, and Jenny and Catalina and Marcy know, because on the Billy Joel podcast, that's why it's so weird. We have this Billy Joel A to Z podcast, and we always, Ilan, my partner, always talks about scones, and he puts them into these parodies. We talk about scones. We talk about scones all the time. So for my friends who listen, to get pelted with scones in a situation like that makes it extra unbelievably,
I mean,
this can
she
only
threw
happen
it.
to Dave Juskow kind of thing.
And you didn't eat the
That's funny.
scone, did you?
Well, that the funny thing is, she's, I was like, I don't want those scones, and she's like, Juskow, I'm gonna bring you scones. I don't need scones. It's not as Juskow, I'm gonna get scones. I'm gonna drop it off with your
She
doorman.
makes it a
And
thing.
she just always is like, scones. I'm gonna bring you scones. I'm like, I don't need them. I don't want them. Please
I
don't
told
bring
her,
them
I
to
said,
me.
I can't eat the scones because I can't eat carbs right now. And she held the bag up to my nose so I could smell the butter. I was like, that is evil.
Yeah. So then,
My
I-
sister, by the way, does not like the scones. I've tried to have her eat them. She was like, it looks like a hard biscuit.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is that next morning I actually had one. It was delicious.
One of the ones that she threw at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
The one she bought me. I've never had a scone before. I've never asked for a scone. I don't even know where you buy them. I don't even know what they are. But the ones she got one time were so delicious. I'm like, oh, this is good. She goes, I'm going to get some for you every day. It's just like, Marina, I was liking it. I don't know if you've seen it, but Defending Your Life. You ever see that movie with Albert Brooks?
No,
It's such a good movie, Evelyn.
it's
You
been
should
a
see it.
Okay.
It's his depiction of what happens when you die and you go to this way station kind of before you move on, where you're judged about your entire life.
Sure.
By you have a prosecutor and a defender, and you see what happened in your life and the choices that you made, and it's really fun. But when the trials are over during the day, they go out to dinner, and he goes, do you like a pie? And he goes, I love pie. He goes, I'm going to bring you 9 pies for every day you're here. He goes, I don't want any pies. Don't do that. Please don't do that. And the guy brings him 9 pies. He's like, you asked me to get you pies. No, I did not, sir. I did not. This is exactly the conversation I have with
Oh
Marina
my
all the
God,
time.
this is so funny. Venus Boy says, I think the Bunny Ranch out here near Vegas offers a deal where an angry Irish woman throws baked goods at you.
It was, it
Oh,
could have
that's so
been
funny.
sexual. Yes, it was very sexy.
Oh, hello, Bozeman Shandu Sr. from South Africa.
See, people from
Welcome.
around the world now know this was not my fault.
Welcome to all of you who are just now joining us. I do this actually every Saturday. Well, not every Saturday. We've been off because it's the summer. Actually, next Saturday we'll be off as well because I
What?
will be heading to Chicago for the Chosen Few Music House Music Festival.
It's a Jewish music festival?
No,
You said The Chosen, so I just assumed.
it's the Chosen Few.
Right, the Jewish people.
Well,
I'm getting confused.
apparently it's black
Evelyn,
people
back me up here.
challenged it.
So you're taking our name now.
The
huh?
different
Is that it?
Chosen.
It's a different chosen few DJs, and it's house music. And by the way, just a little bit of a debate that's going on that you may not know about with house music. Beyonce just came out with a new song that is celebrating house music, and a lot of house heads, by the way, are
Ooh.
very divided on it because
Mm.
they don't. House heads are like old disco heads. They don't like people capitalizing off of what they've worked on for so long. But then there's other house heads who say it's great. I wish DJ Eric Prince was here. They think it's great that she's popularizing house music. Like when Madonna did Vogue,
Right.
a lot of gay men who did voguing way before she ever did, like the houses of whatever, they were insulted in a sense because she
stole
did
it.
it. Yes.
I mean, she saw them do it and she stole it, but that's okay. Nobody would have
okay.
known about it.
Like, right. So there's that argument. Like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer for it not? I mean, what do you think, Evelyn? I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a good question. I think like it's hard. I mean, I think my view of it is that like perhaps like if she had in some way like given them credit or like I mean, it is definitely difficult because it's hard to pinpoint like what like one person or like one group like originated certain things. But yeah, I think a lot of people in like the queer community are kind of like Madonna should have given more credit to like gay, black people and like drag queens for like originating voguing.
Yeah, all of this. By the way, this week I went to a disco thing at Lincoln Hall celebrating Paradise Garage, which is sort of like it was a pride event, but it's also like
Mm,
part of house music culture, which I grew up in.
sure.
And I saw this beautiful man, and I was just like, "Oh," because we're all aging, so it's a diamond in the rough when you see when you see one that looks good. And I was like, "Ooh, ooh," and then he was like, and I was like, "Oh, not for me." He was like,
And this movie is called Paradise Alley with Sylvester Stallone. You said
no,
Oh.
no one knows it. Who is more chosen, Jews or blacks? We're not gonna do it. I ain't doing it.
do it.
I'm outnumbered here. I don't know if you've noticed that, Ginny. So I made the reel about you all the other day. Oh, really? So I made
Yeah, it
the
was
reel
really
about
sweet.
you all the other day and used the perfect song through IG, and now IG took the song away, saying I don't own the rights. The song was from their list. Is this for your show,
I think
Juskow?
if she put all of us, like us and my show and different
Oh, I
ones.
didn't see it.
Yeah, it was nice.
You didn't
Really nice.
tag us. Oh, they took it down right away. You know, it's funny on Instagram now. They're taking down so much with music, like it's insane. Like I even
Mhm.
had one with Justin Timberlake that was actually one of their songs.
Well, that's what she's saying. It's one of the songs that they
they
recommended, and they
offer,
took
and
it
they
down.
took it down. Yeah, they're doing that now. I guess because the Warner Brothers or whatever, they're asking for them to take these things down. But by the way, my voice underneath 1,000 women going, you know, that's my black girl magic. I aged well. That's my black girl magic. Age less. Uh, I mean, millions of girls are using. It's great, but I don't. No one's taking that down.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, why are they taking it down? It's what is it, for 10 seconds? And sometimes when I hear one of those songs, I see who sings it, and then I like buy it or listen to it on Spotify the
Yeah,
proper
it's
way.
very weird.
I don't understand why they would take down a promotion for your
In
song.
story, it's
Music
so
business is the
short.
worst.
Yeah, yeah. And it goes away after like a day.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
They're getting at this is what happened in the music industry. That's why there is no music industry anymore, because they messed up themselves when Napster came around and they didn't see the future.
Mm.
Beyonce and Destiny's Child have been making house music since they began. I don't know. I would say
Mr. Noise.
nothing that I've listened to or liked. But okay, Mr. Noise. There's no Beyonce song that I'm a deep house head, and there's no song that I've listened to. Now they've mixed their songs. DJs have mixed their songs and placed them into house music. And I'm sure that's a big problem because
Yeah.
rappers took a lot of music, DJs, house music, and remixed it. There's a lot
Oh
of house
yeah.
music in hip hop, that people don't understand or know. But
Yeah.
a lot of house heads are very upset about her not really like it's like
Mm.
some people are saying that Beyonce's reinventing house music.
Mm.
And a lot of these house heads are like, no.
Interesting. What do you
But
think about
yeah,
it, Marina?
I think you should just pay people. Like
Yeah.
I feel like after the pandemic, everyone's like the employees that are working over at Instagram are probably like not that good right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like good service is so hard to find right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like they say the employment level is high, but people are still looking for quality workers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't seem like Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram, is a really good place to work.
Nah, or Tesla.
Hey, Marina,
Oh
were you
God.
at the Comedy Cellar last Saturday?
What does this have to do with Tesla?
No, nothing. I'm sorry. I was just wondering what I haven't seen everybody on a Saturday for a long time. I was wondering what everybody
I
was doing.
was
I know
there,
everyone was in
yeah.
Vermont.
I did 3 shows there.
Because I was there and I didn't see you. That's why I was confused. I was there
Why didn't you
early.
text me?
I
Well,
was
I
there
was
with
I think
Rachel.
I had a late show.
Oh, you
Which,
had a
by
late.
the
Oh,
way,
you're usually there at 6 o'clock. That's why I got confused.
which by the way, I had a late show there and I acknowledged it on stage. I said, "Listen, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm tired right now. I don't know why you guys are out." Then when I took the subway, the musician in the subway performer He says, Marina, this is late for you.
See, that's so funny. I was like, if she's not here, something's wrong. And then, okay, now it don't make sense. I got there at 5 o'clock. Again, I saw Mr. Saturday Night for the second Saturday in a row.
Oh my
And then we
God.
went down to the cellar. But I did, because since I'm gay now and we all know, I did get to meet Lorelai Gilmore. She was at the
Oh,
cellar, which was
wow.
very exciting because I've seen every episode. Because I am clearly a homosexual coming out today.
Now, I
Although
guess
I
we
don't think
should.
I need to come out.
I
Everybody
love
knows.
this. LB, my husband is a househead and he didn't like it. We're from Baltimore originally. I was like, nah, yeah, I don't really care. I'm not. I won't diss her like on anything because you know those beehive people. They come after you.
They
It's
do.
just not worth. It's not worth it.
How old is
But
she?
Beyonce? Oh, I don't know.
I think late 30s, maybe
Oh, just late 30s. No, I
40s,
was wondering. She seems like
maybe?
she's been around for such a long time. I really wasn't sure.
Well,
I
she's
would
been in
love
the
for her to use.
industry like forever.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
thought
for her
maybe
to
she was
use my
almost 50. I
reel.
don't know, but she looks amazing.
She
I'm
goes
just
ageless. I'll be like,
yeah.
yes. And they
I like
do
that
need
she's
to
still
pay.
married too. That's kind of cool. They have a good it seems like they have a good relationship, yeah?
So
For music industry.
what was let's get into this about Roe versus Wade. I mean, it's such a horrible thing, and I'm gonna ask Evelyn since and don't interrupt her, Jessica. Let her get a full thing out. But I really want to hear from someone that's young on this because you know my days of having children is over, and
Oh.
but I really do feel like I'm gonna have to help out some young people. How are you
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling very similarly. Earlier today, my girlfriend and I reached out to this nonprofit org called the Haven Coalition to see if we can start volunteering to like house people who are coming to New York to get abortions from states where it is now illegal. But yeah, I mean, like that's really our first thought was how can we help out because we are in the position where we live in New York, where abortion is legal, and I know that the like our politicians are probably going to start working towards like codifying and protecting abortion in law, but that's not the position that a lot of people are in. But yeah, just generally, yesterday was just really sad and felt really not good, particularly because polls have shown that the majority of the country is in support of, making sure that that abortion is federally protected and legalized. So it just very much feels like against the will of the people to have nine unelected officials who are very evangelical Christians decide for the for others. What people can do with their bodies because it's not just about like it. I mean, like I personally believe that like anyone should be able to have an abortion for any reason, and it should be free. Healthcare should be free, but there are other people are going to die because of this. Like if you have an ectopic pregnancy where the it's implanted outside of the uterus, like a septic uterus. Like in states where abortion is illegal, people are not going to have access to abortions and they will die. So it's not good. I called my mom yesterday, and it was really interesting talking to her because she was 14 when Roe versus Wade was like that decision came out. So it was just interesting to hear her perspective about how she was born and there was like no protections for abortion, and then has had it for the majority of her life, and now it's gone. So basically I agree with you. I'm just trying to do as much as I can to help because I do believe that abortion is healthcare and people should have access to it.
Yeah, and there's like my sister has lupus, for example. You
Yeah.
brought up such a good point. Like she can't have another baby. She has two. I know Juskow couldn't believe that she has two kids, but it was a very risky child. There's a risky childbirth, for
Extremely.
women who are very ill. And these are oftentimes women who are going to die or poor. They don't
Yeah.
have the information or the access to the information to know and to be prepared and to catch it in time and to
Yeah.
travel.
Oh, absolutely. And it's cost prohibitive. And also like people who say that they're, pro-life. Well, okay, the United States, the maternal like mortality rate is only increasing, especially for like Black women and women of color. Um, but we like so they're saying that they care about human life, but they actually don't care about the life of the mother or the parent. They actually, I don't really care about the life of the child because there is like, the Senate didn't renew like child tax credits, so making it harder to like take care of children. Yeah, it's really hypocritical. And also like the decision that they did the day before was striking down New York's 100-year like
Yes.
conceal and carry law. So on the one hand, they're saying, oh, the people and states should be able to decide with abortion, but in terms of guns, oh, the government needs to decide for you. So it's just very hypocritical. And like you said, like the majority of people who are getting abortions are mothers who have children already, and who either don't want to or can't provide for another child. It is not in the best interest of the child. So it's yeah, it's pretty bleak, but trying to do what you can.
Yeah, it's real, it's bleak, but it's, I feel like we got to get out there and vote, and we've got to redefine what that means voting. A lot of people feel like their vote doesn't really count anymore, more than I think in the past. I think the idea of gerrymandering, which someone said that only affects Congress. Is that true? Or I don't know. It was someone saying that to me recently that I was like, no, I think it affects
It affects
presidential elections.
and local elections.
Yeah. So, people, the education of voting and the education of law, these are two things that need to become a focus, and the education of the Constitution. These are things that we need to instill in people. And since we got social media, we need to help people out. We need to give access to the internet to people in important neighborhoods so they can get this information too, be educated. And also, it's just, what you said was very powerful about you having the conversation with your mother, especially with, Nancy Pelosi saying that, our daughters are less protected than our mothers were. It's just like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is? Did you see all those people? How happy they were on the other side.
Oh
I mean, that
God,
was
I didn't
sick.
look.
And it's like, and of course they're like, I was just sitting there doing my prayers, and then all of a sudden I got this great news that it was overturned. I just don't understand. I can't believe there's all these. It's really messed up. And I feel like I've always said this about the women who want equal rights and stuff. I say, if you really want to get something done, go after religion, go after it all, go for it. I mean, it's impossible. You'll never win it. It'll be horrible and you'll get killed. But I mean, if you went after the Catholic Church, all organized religions keep women down. And this is part of it. All organized religion is made to keep women down. The Jews too, the Orthodox Jews, the Catholic Church. And it's really fucked up. And the most basic thing that we all know, when you see guys going like, I'm so glad, any guy that's going to have any kind of comment on it is that it's ridiculous. I mean, it's really, I don't get it. My mind can't handle what's happening. I don't get it. I'm too stupid to figure out how people are okay with letting this happen and not letting, a woman just choose, let alone think about this, how this is going to affect the shooters and stuff. You have an unwanted baby, how's that? Then there's going to be more shootings and all that kind of stuff. It affects everything.
Oh,
It's awful.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I will be interested to see, like, in terms of like, to your point about religion, I think like more progressive, like I don't want to say sex, but like more progressive denominations of like Judaism actually prioritize, like in the Torah, like the health of the mother
Well,
and
many were
the
saying that too.
parent
Yeah,
are
right. At
prioritized.
least they do
So
that, but otherwise
I'll
they
be
still, they got to
yeah, but
sit
I'll be interested
separately.
to
And
see how that plays out in courts, because I know there's a synagogue in Southern Florida who's actually they are suing the state for their abortion law, because they're arguing that it's an infringement on Jewish people's
Oh,
religious
that's
freedom.
interesting.
Whoa, nice.
So I'll be really interested to see like how that plays out, because I agree, like if you're a Jewish person, like the Torah says that you should be able to have an abortion for the physical and mental health of like the mother.
Oh.
You should be able, if like any like yeah, so it says in the religion that abortion is permissible in most cases. So to have just a flat out ban is a breach of religious freedom. So I will be really interested to see how that plays out, because I think if like those arguments don't like go through, like there is no religious freedom then in this country. So
Wow. Thank
yeah.
you for that. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
that's really
And
interesting.
how
Yeah.
much do you think this is about the production of more white babies? I keep seeing that online. Is that a
Oh my
conspiracy
God.
now, or
What are you saying, that they don't want more white babies,
no,
or
they
they
want
No, they
more?
want more. Yeah. So
Oh,
in the leaked
never thought about that.
decision from May, that's Alito wrote, there's this phrase that he used, which basically, I think it was like the domestic economy of babies, or like of children, which he was arguing that birth rates are really low, just kind of globally, but like in the United States, like younger people are not having children. Um, because of the state of the world right now. But like, so he was saying that in making abortion illegal, that would mean that there are more children, um, which means that people would have like more chances for like adoption. But the part that like people are like that he didn't write in the legal theory, but what people are saying is that it also plays into like the idea of like the great replacement theory,
Yes.
where like now there will be more white children born, so like black people and Jews and like people of color like won't be able to replace white people, which like obviously like he didn't write that in the draft of the legal decision, but that's
That would have been
probably
awesome if he
what
just
was
wrote it.
in his mind. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what people are talking about. I don't think they use like that phrase in like a decision that came out yesterday, but it is what people are thinking.
So
On the right.
how about this theory that it's all Ruth Bader Ginsburg's fault? That
Well,
if she had,
they're saying it's her fault and Obama's.
if she had stepped
People,
down
it's
early,
it's very complicated, because I do have a lot of reverence for both Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Obama. But I do feel that if either Obama had actually, because when he ran in 2007, he did say that codifying Roe into law was a priority of his, and then later like stepped back on that and said that it wasn't. And then Ruth Bader Ginsburg could have retired earlier when Obama was still president. So there would have
right.
been more time to have a more left-leaning justice. So those are moments where I do feel that I would have preferred if other decisions had been made. But I just don't think that line of thinking is like particularly helpful.
No,
I
it's
It's
think
not
not,
helpful at
and a
all. It's
lot
not
of
helpful. It's
people,
just
the Republicans really love it when we trash our own.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the conversation I've been hearing lately that's starting up, is like Democrats really, I mean, it's been around for a while, and we all agree that Democrats have a messaging issue, but we can't focus on that right now because we have some really big problems.
Yeah.
You know, Republicans will never say that about themselves. You will never
Oh
hear a
no,
Republican
never.
say anything negative about Republicans. But I mean, will go in about liberals, about Democrats, about progressive we'll go in. And so
Yeah.
the thing is I get it. I get all those facts. Very true. But is that productive, and is that moving us forward right now with
Yeah.
everything at stake? Is it?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with
Marina,
you.
are you
It's not
voting on
productive.
Tuesday?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll
Yes, I
probably
am
vote on
voting.
Monday, actually. I'll probably vote tomorrow. I think I could
Yeah, I think
vote
I'm gonna try to
early.
vote
Mhm.
early because that'll just be
We have to now, right? I
easier.
mean, now it's more important. There's just primaries. A lot of people don't bother, but now it's
This
like,
one, no, this one's important. I mean, in terms of
yeah,
like New York, like state, local elections, like I'm not, like worried as I am for like other local elections and like other states. But yeah, it's important to see who the Democratic nominee for governor will be for
yeah,
the
but I can only
2020.
vote for the Republicans. I have to change.
Are you registered as a Republican?
Yeah, but just since 1984,
Oh, okay.
But you can still vote. Do you have to
not in the
vote?
primaries.
Now in the primaries, you have to vote.
Yeah.
In the US, are the vast majority of pro-lifers also pro-gun control? This is what Phil R wants to know.
I don't have any like data or facts, but I would say anecdotally, yes.
Yeah, anecdotal. Yeah, I ain't got no facts either. I love when people who are statistics when they could just throw out
Oh
statistics
my
at
God,
people.
I
That's the
know.
If it's any
best.
consolation, when I go to the voting booth in my neighborhood, people get really upset that I'm on the other line. Yeah, Marcy, I know. It's it's really messed up. I I just I did that as a kid. I loved Michael J. Fox, from Family Ties, so that's why I
Oh
did
my
it.
God.
But
Yeah, my dad was kind of like that. I told you this before, Juskow, that they
yeah,
called my grandmother's house and they said, "Someone in your house
yeah,
is
it's
voting
really.
for Nixon."
Oh my God.
I know. But it's like it's weird because like I want to change because it's useless being a Republican in this town anyway. And as you know, I wanted to run, maybe for city council, definitely for Manhattan Borough president. You're never going to win as a Republican. But I don't know. There's something to being on this ridiculous, stupid site where I feel like maybe I can help. Being a Republican, I can help these idiots like that. But it's so embarrassing being part of this. This isn't the Republican Party I signed up for. I'm not a Trump person or anything. It's like this is just so bad.
Yeah, how
But I
do you
feel like
defend
one of
it?
us has got to be on that side to help, like Cheney, right? I mean,
Well, that's what I was about to say. I mean, it'd be helpful if you moved to Wyoming and voted for Liz Cheney in
exactly right. So
the
there's got to be
primary.
one person left that tries to.
Where's
We need a
that
third party.
Lincoln Party, right?
Yeah,
The
well,
Lincoln
that's the
Yeah.
Party.
Lincoln Party is why I'm a U.S. history major. I love Lincoln. I love Jefferson. They were Republicans. They were my boys.
Bitch ass Lincoln. He wasn't even about the slavery.
What's under that hat?
We saw the documentary, a docu-musical about Rudy Giuliani
Oh, right.
at the
We
Tribeca
haven't been
Film
back since
Festival.
we saw that, right?
How was that? That sounds wild.
Phil R. Look what Phil R. Yes, I am. Now listen, I don't want to hear about Roe versus Wade being overturned again. Listen,
Well, I think this is a good time to go into some reviews.
Wait,
Yeah.
you don't want to talk about the Rudy Giuliani thing?
Not really. I don't have to. I mean, we talk after the reviews. We'll talk
Wait.
about it for a second, but I have to end exactly at 4. So go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we'll go into it after.
All right. So the first
Marlene says your show is the best.
no, actually, our first review this week is from Twitter from 888 Threads, who was replying to a post about your one-on-one with Adrian Ray.
Yes.
Who responded and said, "Queen, this interview was everything. You said some things that really resonated with me. Prayer is asking and meditation is listening, are greater good. And if it's not fine, stop doing it." So that was really, really great to see. And then we had another review on Twitter from another friend of the podcast, Paul Francis Sullivan, who said, and this was response to the episode with Kenise Mobley and Vanessa Fraction, said, "Friends Like Us is one of the best podcasts ever, period. For nearly a decade, Marina Franklin has hosted a funny, smart, and challenging discussion about the not always fun world we live in." Which was
Nice.
great. And then we on Instagram, in response to, I believe, this week's episode with who's on this week? Is it we've been gone for so many weeks, and I got reviews from episodes all across that. But there is from King Mikey 87, who said, "Great episode," in response to this week's episode. So yeah, we had a lot of really great reviews the past few weeks.
Well, thank you.
She's frozen. I'll take over. Now, where was
This is
I?
the
Rudolph Giuliani.
Then-
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, you can hear
to
you.
us, you know,
Oh, there we
and
go.
that we're really, I think, because of history and things like that, Black people can be more of a trend, or perceived as more of a trend than humans. And I think Atlanta brings the humanity back to that. And Atlanta has these beautiful characters that are layered and relatable. I think the most important thing is literally what you hit on is showing us Black people in all of our dynamics, is showing the layers of us. It's showing us to society that we are more than basketball wives and rappers' girlfriends and you know, there's layers to us, you know, and that we're really, I think, because of history and things like that, Black people can be more of a trend, or perceived as more of a trend than humans. And I think Atlanta brings the humanity back to that.
So yeah.
That girl's gorgeous.
Great.
You had her
Yeah, it
on
was a
your
great
show?
episode. Yeah, she was on the last
Damn.
episode of Atlanta. We get a lot of great guests now, mostly because we have PR firms contacting us. They like the way I interview, you know, because I don't talk over people.
What are you saying?
And
What are you trying to say? You listen to me and you listen good. I've had just about enough of
I've
you.
learned to listen from doing the podcast over the years. I've gotten better at it. So we did one-on-one conversation with her, and she was amazing. She's so sweet. She's so beautiful.
Gorgeous.
That last episode of Atlanta, in my opinion, is one of the best shows on TV. It's on FX and Hulu streaming, and it just does things that I like. In the description of every episode, you know how you get a little description?
Mhm.
Instead of getting an actual description of the episode telling you what's in the episode, it gives you the online critique of the episode. So it's like, you know, hey, someone stole this idea. You could have written a better episode. Like stuff like that is for each episode is something new. It's very creative. It's
fun.
just a great show, and she was excellent on it. And so it was nice to feature her. We're going to continue having great guests. We have Amanda Seals coming up this week with
Ooh.
Christina Greer. Yes, and it's a really hot conversation. So we're like also 1 week, you know, behind the news cycle. So, you know, we're not going to be talking about Roe versus Wade. We'll be doing that next week, the week after. So now what do you want to say about Giuliani?
Nothing. I just was. We saw Marina and I saw this documentary, and they made it a docu-musical because they just want to have like a little way to, I guess, difference themselves from other documentaries, right? But it was awful. As a musical person, it was the worst thing I've ever seen. However, the documentary itself, if you take out the musical part of it, was fantastic. No, right, Marina?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was great. But the musical
overall.
part is you got to sit through this, and it's bad. If they cut that out, it would be very.
No, I thought it was overall. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, you're mistaken.
Well, I work with them, so watch your mouth.
I'm sorry. Well, the documentary itself was fantastic. The other thing just didn't hit the way I think.
Well,
they
you're a
wanted it to.
musical person, so that's your thing. But I really
musical
enjoyed
theater
it.
person. You
It
take
also
that back.
sandwiched in something that I never really thought about, which was that Giuliani was there in September 11th as a hero, and then he returns again on January 6th as the villain.
As a zero. It's fascinating that he is the glue between these two legendary dates in modern American history.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. We didn't even think about it until we saw that.
Yeah.
Until the guy mentioned it after we saw the documentary. It was fascinating. That guy that
It was
you're working with, great guy.
great.
It was very well
guy.
done, very well put together. It's very entertaining. I would watch it again.
What's it called?
I can't tell you that.
No, it's called
It's called Rudy!
it's not out yet.
Point. It's called Rudy! Exclamation point, a docu-musical.
Interesting. Okay. I'll check it out.
You got to see it. It's just, you'll see what I mean.
It also captures September 11th, since were you born?
Yeah, I was born in 97.
Oh my God. That, first of all, sitting through that sucks because I never want to see that again. And anybody that lived here just doesn't want to deal with it at all. And I never saw that footage. People were telling me on my podcast that they say, "Oh, I've seen that footage before," where somebody had a camera. Maybe you've seen it before, where these firefighters were downtown doing something in a manhole, and they caught the first plane.
Oh, the French.
Oh my God, I
documentary.
hadn't seen that before, and that sound. Oh my God, I didn't need to see that. I forgot about they were going to show that, and like, of course they're going to show that if it's Rudy Giuliani. But damn, hey, that girl from the Washington Post, I DM'd her. She was so terrific. She's a reporter for the Washington Post, and she was really funny and had a lot of interesting things to say. I guess knew Giuliani for a while, and she's really, really interesting. I can't remember her name.
As you're talking, I'm banning someone from our comment.
Okay, good.
That's what I was doing. I'm just banning someone.
So you were happy that I was talking because I can continue.
I don't know what you were saying. I'm sure it was awful.
What? Well, we had such a good time.
No,
together,
it's this person who's like, "Are you feeling let down by your lover? Are you disappointed in what he or she is doing? You feel brokenhearted?" You know, they always try to advertise on your page. It's so like cheap to do it that way. It's like, you know, Jane, I know who you are, but you're not part of this conversation. So like, no,
I'm not. Tell if people are bots, like if that's like an actual person or if it's like just.
Why do you got to leave early today, Marina? You doing a show somewhere else?
Well, you know, yeah, I got the cellar. I got to get down there early, and a lot of times when we go over, I end up racing down there. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I saw Ray Romano last week there too.
Oh yeah, Ray's been there. Who's very funny. He said something that just stayed with me about turtles and how can we replace dogs' lifespan with the turtle? You know, like the dogs. Their lifespan is so short that. Can we just switch it up with the turtle? The turtle's not doing anything with its life. It's like, you know, the turtle's like, look, it's like when it sleeps, it's like, I'll just turn my head to the right. You know what I mean? I saw something yesterday that hurt my soul. I cannot stand animal abuse. And
that guy that hit with the chair?
No. This is something that happened right in front of my apartment. I saw a guy and I saw the dog and I realized, I was like, I wanted to snatch that dog away so bad and run. And I looked at this other guy who was shaking his head, like sadly. I mean, it was just so upsetting. I don't know what I don't know what you would do in these moments. I know there's a viral video about some guy who punched his dog, and then people started punching him. Is that what you're talking about, Juskow?
Something that he hit his dog with a chair has been canceled. You know, but I saw it this morning on Google View. I can't find it now. It was really disturbing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't know why people get dogs if you can't.
I don't understand how Michael Vick was allowed to play football again. I mean, I know he went to jail and everything, but I mean that kind of I don't want him on my team. And then they brought him to my team. He played for the Jets after that. I'm like, I don't want to. I mean, can you imagine if that guy wins the Super Bowl for the Jets after 40 years? I got to root for this guy.
Well, there are such things called second chances. Was he rehabilitated?
He was. I mean, technically, he went to jail. He did his time, but what he was doing,
but did he understand? Did he have
dogs and shooting them in the head?
Oh, stop it! Don't say anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, do you give a guy like that a second chance?
Unfortunately, yeah, there's a thing called second chances in life, and so
would he have gotten a second chance if he wasn't a good football player? You know, probably not.
What I'm saying is like. I mean, I don't think he should be playing football again, but I do believe in second chances and rehabilitation
I believe in that too. I just don't think he should have gotten money for playing football again after
that. I agree with.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That I definitely agree with.
Pisses me off to this day.
Yeah, I mean,
what a piece of shit he is.
Yes, any violence towards animals, I can't even watch it in a horror movie.
I can't think about it when they talk about it. It'd be like another thing.
Emotionally, I get sick.
If they do a documentary on it, it would be like Rudy. We're like, oh crap, I got to sit through September 11th again. If they do a documentary on this guy, which they will soon, like they'll do an ESPN one on him, we got to sit through that again too. I don't want to be reminded of it.
His son is out there. All right, guys. Well, we're wrapping up this really fantastic Friends Like Us review and preview of this great podcast with my friends. Evelyn Frick, who will tell you where can we
She's doing the Brady Bunch thing. I love it. I'm gonna go like this.
Where can we find you, Evelyn, and what are you doing next?
You can find me on Twitter at Evelyn G. Frick. I don't have any upcoming shows at the moment, but I am writing for Reductress. So any new headlines or articles will be coming out there. And you can hear all about it at Evelyn G. Frick on Twitter.
Yes.
Mr. Nice thinks it deserved a chance. Interesting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Juskow? And make it quick and snappy.
Well, this is going to take a while. I don't mind telling you.
I will hang this. I will remove you.
I know you will. No, just the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show on YouTube every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And you'll be able to see me on Stupid Pet Tricks coming up this fall on TBS. You would never appear in the Holland Tunnel. The Lincoln, maybe.
Go ahead, continue. Thank you, Venus.
Well, it's kind of funny. Think about I'm on a show called Stupid Pet Tricks because I love pets, pets. But I play a dog, a writer, in one of the writer rooms, and a rabbit.
Very nice.
So,
Nice. All right.
I like that kind of stuff. I like animals a lot. Ever since I had my cat. Never felt this way before I had a pet of my own. And anyway, can I just say it was great seeing you two ladies today. I missed you guys.
It was great seeing you too, Juskow. And for me, Marina Franklin, just go to my website, marinayfranklin.com. Please check out the Friends Like Us podcast. It's amazing episodes. I cannot tell you, the guests that I'm getting now are better than ever. I mean, they've always been good, but hands down, you want to hear from these guests. I mean, that's why, and they have such good advice. I mean, what's better than a show that can actually help you get educated, better yourself, and feel good? Also, July 19th, I believe, I'll be posting soon. I will be doing I'll be headlining at the Fat Black Pussycat.
Ooh.
I believe it's July. I can't remember when, but I will be posting about that. I can't remember the date. I think it's either July 18th or July 19th. All right, hold on. Let me get it right. Sorry, I'm taking too long, and I'm breaking my own rule about taking too long. But I just want
to. You can do whatever you want.
It's July 19th, 7 p.m. at the Fat Black Pussycat. You just go to thecomedycellar.com.
Jim Norton's birthday.
This right here. Is it really? I didn't know that. Go to thecomedycellar.com. That's probably why I got the date, because he's usually on that date. And 7 p.m. And we'll be back on here live to maybe offer free tickets to that show.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Remember, stay safe. Continue to wash your hands. Don't be a schmutz. What was the word?
I would say don't be schmutzy.
Don't be schmutzy.
Don't be a putz.
Okay. And Black Lives Matter. And we're gonna reverse this whole thing. Ladies, we're gonna be all right. Okay. Think positive. We're gonna get out of this situation. We're gonna bring back some hope to the United States of America with friends like us. All right.
Well said.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Black Lives Matter, bitches.